We are so pleased to welcome today on to Town Talk Andrew Sullivan, who is not only the president of Protectowire Fire Systems in Pembroke, but he is the chair of the Community Center Task Force. Andrew, let's talk a little bit about the background of what the Community Center is, what it was in the past, and why we need to have a new one.
Okay, so 1932, we're going to go back a ways.
Okay.
Now. It was built as a school back in the 30s.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know exactly when the community center, when Pembroke Rec and all started operating out of there, but it's been the Pembroke Community Center for many years, and Pembroke Rec and Food Pantry and a few other, there's a daycare
center.
operating out of there, going back some years. So there's been some committees formed in the past studying it. The building's in disrepair.
Yep.
And there's a big committee formed in 2006, and they did some wonderful work, a lot of research, kind of like a whole new downtown area addressing other buildings as well. And unfortunately, it never got before the voters, but a lot of good work to tap into anyway. And another committee was formed in 2011 that looked at it, and they were looking at some different ideas too. So, I think people for many years have realized that something needs to be done there.
Right.
And we're the third committee since '06 giving it a...
And you have the most comprehensive plans that any other committee has had so far.
Yeah, well, 2006 did a lot of work, and there's a lot of good data out there that we can extrapolate from. But we have updated plans looking at specifically only the community center, not all downtown.
Right. So the new community center, if the voters approve it, is going to also house the Council on Aging.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the footprint. Is going to be the same place where it is now.
Yes, it's a 30-acre site.
Yep.
128 Center Street is the address. Right next to the library and next to the Hatch building is the site. It's an existing brick building that's about 30,000 square feet with the ball fields around back down below. So that's the site.
Okay. So that would have to be completely taken down.
Yes.
Okay.
Existing
to build
building would
the
come
new
down.
one.
Correct.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit now. We're going to show on screen a couple of the first and the second floor of this, as well as what the outside would look like. So talk a little bit about your plans for how you did the first and second floor and what you tried to encompass in it.
Okay, so back at last spring town meeting, Bargman, Hendry, and Archetype were hired by the town to do a phase 1 study. Really impressive architectural firm out of Boston. They've done 22 community centers throughout the state of Mass. Yeah. They've done a big community center in Randolph. They did Marshfield, Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, they're not new to this.
Not new to this. A lot of great, we're a group of, our committee's committed, but we're volunteers. And these folks are the real experts in it. So really the rubber hit the pavement when they got on board and met with our committee and came up with these phase 1 plans. So now we have, concrete, these are conceptual, but we're ready. We have plans to take before the town at town meeting. And you want to get into the building?
Well, first of all, this was based on also you did some intel gathering from surveys.
Yes. So
let's talk about the survey. Who got surveyed? What questions did you ask? What did you find out?
We, through the architectural firm, part of their contract was to, their job was to go on a fact-finding mission with, without the committee's involvement so much. They went to Pembroke Rec director, Susan Roach, very, very helpful, the COA director, and they also went to historic. We've been to advisory committee, they've met the selectmen, but...
so they found out what the uses were wanted for this.
And they conducted a survey to seniors that was, we got some good information on that. So maybe it's good to reference their report too.
Okay.
So they just finished their work. Joel Bargman, BH&A, it's actually just about to be submitted. It's a 96-page summary of their phase 1 study work that includes the conceptual plans and the
includes everything,
floor layout,
everything,
traffic studies. They get into everything here, usages for all the different times of the day. It has the surveys in there that
will that be
conducted.
available on the town website?
It will be.
Okay.
Yep.
So people can actually go through the 93 pages and
yes, they can
and look at everything.
And the Community Center Task Force also has a Facebook page, and we'll be sure to get it on that as well.
Okay.
But it will be available through the town website. So that report is, it's a lot. It's 96 pages, and I don't expect everyone's going to read every page of it, but we have that. This is meat and potatoes here. Are some of the conceptual.
Right, and this I got all from your Facebook page.
Right.
Yeah, you have a community center Facebook page, and these pictures and
sure.
plans are on it.
Interior layout and exterior
Yep,
conceptual
what it will
look.
look like.
And
Yep.
I was really pleased. The architects very positive feedback from Historic. I mean, I live in a 300-year-old home in Pembroke, and I love local history.
Right.
And Pembroke is a charming, historic town.
Yep.
And
you wanted this to fit right into it, because this will be in a historic district.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The
it
downtown
will.
historic
Right.
district.
So, I was pleased that Historic was very receptive to the design, and the architect looked closely at other buildings around town to see what would fit in.
Yep.
Because he's done many different shapes and sizes
Right.
in different towns.
Right.
So
how do you sell this to the community? Because this will have to go to town meeting, and town meeting will have to approve this.
Right.
Do you have exact numbers or estimate numbers?
we do have estimated numbers for sure. You have to have some solid numbers to make it an article at town meeting.
Absolutely.
And, it can't be so pie in the sky. And I think phase one work that's been done here is enough for voters to render an opinion, a decision on it. So, one thing we've done that other committees maybe hadn't done quite as much is really look to the State House for support.
Right.
And we've been working through a great grant writer Pembroke has available, Brandon Gulnick.
Yeah.
And Vinny DiMacedo and Josh Cutler. Josh, among everybody, has been really committed to this project and helped us navigate our way at the State House.
Yeah.
And there are 3 to 4 grants that really align with the Pembroke Community Center that we plan to pursue heavily.
That we'd qualify for.
We would qualify
But
for.
only
It fits
if-
the description, for a community center.
But you can only get those if it's approved at town meeting.
Correct. So there's no, the state wants to see the town has skin in the game. That,
Absolutely.
That they have
Yep.
it. So that's a catch-22.
Yep.
So we need, this to pass at town meeting, and then, we can really go after those grants at the state level. So we can't guarantee, residents that these grants are going to be there, but we can guarantee they're not going to be there
If you don't go after it.
with a negative vote.
Right.
So, yeah.
So would this require
There's other
2.5
funding sources.
Okay.
There's more money out there.
Okay.
CPC, awesome. They are very receptive to this. They have 3 pillars, right? They have recreation, historic, and housing,
Yeah.
I think. We fall into recreation. The community center is a 30-acre site. The outside space, to me, is as important as the inside space. The town green is going to double in size.
Right.
Our parades, arts festivals, tree lighting.
Yep.
You
All
know
takes
what
place.
you know what it's
Yep.
like today.
Yep.
This is going to be such a better site for outdoor use, and community preservation can get behind this, and they're excited to support it. We don't have anything concrete to ask for today, but looking at the plans, they were anything green outside is falling within their realm. That I think there's going to
purview,
be financial support, certainly to some degree, from CPC.
Okay, so the elephant in the room, as is always in any town,
Right.
is there's other buildings that need to be updated and addressed.
Right.
How do you counteract that?
Well, we were appointed by the selectmen to study the community center.
Right. This was your job. Yeah.
This was our job. Our committee is 2 years now.
Yeah.
It's we have blinders on, and we live in town. We know there's other town needs.
Right.
But as far as we're concerned, we really feel like this is one of the most important projects on the docket for the town, for town-owned structures. Police, fire, DPW, they have needs, no question about it.
Right.
And I think they have tried, putting forth proposals in the past that haven't passed. But I imagine they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and come forward with new plans, because they have to be addressed.
Right.
No question about it.
Yep.
We want to do everything.
Right.
Right.
Wouldn't it be great if we could do all the buildings
one
at
big
once?
check.
Yeah.
And some towns, Marshfield just passed a huge override for doing a lot of different buildings.
Yep.
And,
all at once. Ripped off the Band-Aid.
we're the community center people.
Yep.
This is
So
the
this is your
heart of
thing, yep.
heart of downtown. 30 acres. Let's get this right. Let's get this going. We are ready. You know, we have a solid plan
Yeah.
to propose, and if the town wants to, you know, really see some good changes and make a step in this direction, we have a great plan to
Right.
put forward. And let's get this right, and
Yep.
let's build on that. So
the people that would be utilizing this are obviously the seniors, but do you have an after-school program here? Is the daycare
Yes.
still going to be here?
the daycare would not, but I think
Okay.
there will be.
'Cause that's a private.
There will be. That's a private operation, but there will be.
Recreational after-school programs?
Yes,
Yeah.
for young.
Right.
From age of all ages.
And
it's
it's-
really cradle to grave type of operation
Right.
here. It's open to the public.
Yep.
We're just now talking about Pembroke hours. You know, so basically it's like contract time. There's a double basketball court, for
Right.
instance.
Yep.
We want to be able to generate some revenue
Sure.
to support the building
Yep.
through AAU tournaments, whatever.
Absolutely.
So, you know, the existing community center closes around 5.
As does the senior center. Yeah,
So-
and they're not open on
so,
weekends.
You know, 5 to, let's say, 10 p.m., that's a lot of opportunity
It is.
for use.
And so are weekends.
For residents
Yeah.
and for contract time.
Right.
So the scheduling will be key. I think it'll be a balance
Mm-hmm.
of revenue generating rentals, the birthday parties. I mean, this is really, the plan is so multifunction.
Yeah.
So rooms can be turned into a birthday or
Yep.
turned into a lecture. You know, the biggest room here can seat up to 200 people.
Right.
You divide it in half.
Yeah.
You know, you can do different
Yeah.
functions. Everything
It's
has
very functional. Yeah.
dividers. And
Yeah.
the gym. One of the key features of the design is a walking track on the second level.
Right.
Which is
which
so
overlooks
cool.
the gym, which is cool.
Right, with great views outside.
Yep.
You know, and so it will be for everybody. You know, you want to go in and have a cup of coffee and get on a computer and make use of it. It's open to the town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there'll be a lot of security here as well. In today's day and age,
Yeah, you gotta have it.
so there'll be a check-in.
Yeah.
You know, but we've got a check-in desk, and
Mm-hmm.
there'll be people on staff, and you know, it's not going to be unattended. But
So what will this cost to actually run this? Is that part of the study? I know what it costs
yes,
to build it is
is
one thing,
yeah,
but what does
no,
it cost
we
to
are
run
looking
it?
at that. Some scary. I've heard different numbers coming in now. Scary numbers
Scary?
as far as operating the existing community center.
yeah, well.
It's a 30,000 square foot building that's
Yeah.
in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
And it's not even, you know, it's half occupied
Right.
at that. It has, you know, remediation that needs to be done desperately, and heating that building from 1932.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the
very
windows and
expensive.
all. So. I've heard numbers. I'm not even going to quote them, but
Yep.
though that's money you're throwing into the ground.
Yeah.
You know, keeping a building that's half occupied.
Right.
So I do think, you know, a new construction, today's latest technologies
Yep.
for efficiencies.
Yep.
You know, we're looking at green technologies that can be implemented in it too. The architect's looking at that.
Yeah, I mentioned when I went to your meeting having solar panels on the roof
Right. Yeah. I'm
and having a generator, so it can be a place to go if you need.
Well,
to be
that's
a
it. That's
cooling
been
place
coming
or-
up. You know,
Yeah.
for emergency. You know, the FEMA. I
Yeah.
know it's called MEMA. I think
Yeah,
locally.
yeah.
That we have our library. You know,
Right.
this is much more suited for
And much bigger,
people,
yeah.
much bigger.
Certainly
that
is, yeah.
it certainly could be used for that.
So people will need to educate themselves on this before town meeting.
Yes.
So are you going to have any other public presentations?
We're doing another. I think we're doing another open forum in April.
Okay.
We're forming. There's another committee that's coming online right now called Friends of the Pembroke Community Center.
Okay.
And that group is going to be handling messaging for signage.
Yep.
We've got some mailers.
Yep.
You know, frequently asked questions. Really to get out there with a larger group of people to educate
Yeah.
the community on what's being planned and answer questions.
Right.
Where, you know, our town-appointed committee is a study group.
Right,
You know,
which you've done, and you've done your job.
we're
You've done your
reporting to
due
the
diligence.
selectmen,
Yep.
and you know we still got to go back to them. So it made sense to have a larger group that's kind of grassroots.
Yep.
So you're going to see a lot more of it in
Okay.
the.
And you have a Facebook page, and you can also get links to your meetings and your agendas through the town website.
You can.
Yes.
Yes. We
because
meet
it's,
once a
because
month.
it's a town-sponsored.
Right. Yep. We're meeting once a
group.
month.
Okay. Well, Andrew, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see what happens with this.
Yes.
Educate yourselves is the one of anything for town meeting. The most important thing is to do your homework, do your due diligence, educate yourself as to what this is all about. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you for having me, Julie.
Again, this has been Andrew Sullivan, who's on the Community Task Force.
Correct.
And we'll see if this goes at town meeting in May in Pembroke.